Favre was a 3-time MVP, while Rodgers has won 2 MVPs so far. They each won 1 Super Bowl with the Packers. John is by Rob Parker. Rob, do you agree with Rodgers being ranked ahead of Favre?
Be honest.
Absolutely. Be honest. Are you kidding, Skip? Aaron Rodgers is way better than Brett Favre.
Write that down.
Forget about the 3 MVPs. And if it wasn't for Desmond Howard, Brett Favre wouldn't even have a Super Bowl victory. Remember that. Desmond Howard.
Oh, so Brett didn't do anything that game.
Yeah, no.
He didn't throw it early to Andre Rison for the big game-breaking early touchdown. He didn't do that.
But it was Desmond. Who was the MVP of that Super Bowl? He had 2 touchdowns, right?
Yeah.
In that Super Bowl. And the other thing, too, let's just face it. Brett Favre is one of the most overrated guys as well from this standpoint. He is the interception king of the NFL. And how many, Shannon Sharp, playoff games ended with Brett Favre throwing across his body, across the field for a pick to end the playoff game?
Minnesota Vikings against the Saints.
Thank you. It's happened so many times.
Last playoff game, Skip.
What did he do? A bad pick. That was what he was famous for. I don't care how old he was.
40 years of age.
It was
the
a
greatest
bad play.
40-year-old season ever. Was it 33-7? 33 touchdowns?
And can I give you like 3 stats for Aaron Rodgers? While Brett Favre's the interception king, Aaron Rodgers, of course, has the best touchdown to interception ratio in the history of the NFL.
Yep.
They have the best passer rating in the history of the NFL. And he has a single season record for the best passer rating of 122.5. Nobody in the league has a higher passer rating in a single season than Aaron Rodgers. It's not even close. Brett Favre should be 10 spots lower than Aaron Rodgers, not 1.
Am I being punked right now? What? Oh, we on camera, so we on like, Skip, stop it. Talent for talent. This
I haven't even spoken yet. Well, I haven't started yet. How can I stop what I haven't started?
I know you.
We already know.
Talent for talent is not even close. They shouldn't even be mentioned.
That shouldn't even be mentioned.
See,
that is so insulting. That is so wrong, and you know it.
What we're starting to do.
You had to face this guy in a Super Bowl.
Yeah, let me tell you what Greg Robinson said. Guys, he's going to make plays, but he's going to give us our opportunity to make ours. So just make sure, did he disappoint us? No. Skip. We are starting to confuse longevity with greatness. Because somebody plays 20 years, Skip, stop it. You need to stop playing. This guy had 1 season in 20. Now, okay, 19 because he didn't play his rookie year. So 1 year in 19 years in which he threw fewer than 13 interceptions. Aaron Rodgers has 1 season in which he's thrown 13 interceptions. Skip, highest touchdown to interception ratio ever. It's never, ever, ever, ever going to be broken. This man was going to end up with probably 450, maybe 500, and fewer than 150 picks. Brett Favre at almost 350. You need to stop playing.
And he got Ray Rose.
I need to start playing. Do I get to start, Joy? Or is it? Are we just going to go to commercial now?
No. It's not even close.
You stole your notes when you were.
It's not even close.
Anybody who really knows football.
No.
Shannon, you don't know football?
I guess not.
I think you're in the Hall of Fame.
I guess not.
Knows that Brett Favre was a little better than Aaron Rodgers has been so far. I'm open to. Aaron's got, I don't know, can he play 5, 6 more years? I don't know. He can't play Tom Brady years because he doesn't care enough about
Brady.
football.
It's Brett Favre and Aaron.
Yeah. So let's look at this now. So Brett Favre did go to 2 Super Bowls, and he won 1 of them. But Aaron's only been to 1 Super Bowl in 9 years. Wait, he's the greatest thrower of the football in history, according to that guy. And that guy.
Skip, how come you leave out the
Wait,
onside
it's my turn
kick?
to talk. It's my turn to talk. Oh, let me go right to the onside kick. Because I'm going to unmake my case by saying the onside kick. Now let's go to commercial. That's what I'm going to say.
He would have gone to the Super Bowl that year if they caught it.
So Brett Favre in the postseason was 13-11. Not great, but not bad. And yet Aaron Rodgers is only 9-7, which is not great. But wait a second. Since that 1 miracle Super Bowl run that he made as a wild card on the road playoff team, since then, he's 5-6 in the postseason. And in those 6 losses, not one time in those 6 losses has he thrown for 300 or more yards. Not one time. He's the greatest thrower of the football ever. But you know what? I'm seeing a mirage here because if he's as good as you guys say, there's no way he would have lost 6 games since his Super Bowl.
And his defense
Nobody
is
does
giving
that.
up like
Oh,
40
it's his
points
defense.
in those games as well.
So let's talk about receivers that you're throwing to. Sometimes you say, well, blah, 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 you know, Aaron doesn't have enough receivers. USA Today just recently ranked the position groups in the NFL. And in receiving core rankings, guess what? Aaron Rodgers' receiving core was ranked second only to the New York Football Giants. So the second best receiving core in the NFL today, according to USA Today, is Aaron Rodgers. Yet Brett Favre got 2 teams to Super Bowls with no Pro Bowl wide receiver. Not one in either time. Like you said, Desmond Howard, he's just like off the scrap heap, you know? But he's thrown to Andre Rison, who's off the scrap heap from the Falcons. Really? That's all you got?
Skip, what does receivers have to do with throwing to the other team? That's
Okay.
what
All right. Well,
here's
what
I don't care about the
you
receivers.
fixate and focus on interceptions
yes.
thrown. But let's look at
Probably should.
over Brett Favre's 19-year span in the National Football League. He was second among all the quarterbacks who played in those 19 years in fourth quarter comebacks and second in game-winning drives. I got to tell you, that's pretty great over a 19-year span.
Aaron Rodgers doesn't have to come back.
Time out. In Aaron Rodgers' 9-year span as a starter, just as a starter, he's 24th in fourth quarter comebacks and only 17th in game-winning drives of all the active quarterbacks. That's not the greatest thrower of the football ever, because when the money's on the line, I think I want Brett Favre throwing my football because he took a Minnesota team that most of the prognosticators said would finish last that year in the division because they had a 40-year-old quarterback. He lifted that team all the way to the NFC Championship game, and guess what it took?
What did he do?
It took the Bounty Bowl to stop him because clearly they got busted for bounties on Brett Favre, and I don't think I have ever seen a quarterback take more punishment than Brett Favre absorbed and continued to fight through that day in New Orleans in that Superdome. They said he couldn't even get up off the training table after the game because bounties were on him.
He
They
was
were
old.
trying
He's
to
40.
hurt.
He's 40 years old.
What Skip will never mention
Yeah.
is that when he was with the New York Jets, he hurt that team by being selfish.
The streak was more important to
Right?
him.
The streak was more important. They were 8-3 or 4. He was injured. He kept playing.
He tore his bicep.
But he's still
tendon.
playing, and they wound up not making the playoffs that year because he was so worried about a streak. He's also the only guy, when he was with the Jets, had his own, he dressed in a separate room from his teammates. He dressed in a separate locker room.
The biggest diva,
What kind of guy is that?
The biggest diva among quarterbacks today, by far, is Aaron bleeping Rodgers. Because Aaron Rodgers is the most thin-skinned, blame-deflecting, finger-pointing quarterback I have ever watched from game in and game out. You know it, and I know it. He is the diva of today's quarterbacks, and I don't think his teammates love him. Greg Jennings has sat right there, former teammate of his and receiver of his, and said that a lot of the guys don't love Aaron.
That's okay, but I bet you most guys would love 40 touchdowns and 7 picks, and he won every game they needed to win to make the playoffs.
Money on the line, 5 and 6 since the Super Bowl. Wow.
The Saints, Brett Favre, game-ending interception, Saints kick field goal in overtime. The Eagles, remember he threw that ball up down the middle of the field?
Yes.
By the way, can I just make a point about the game-ending one in New Orleans in overtime? What happened on the play before that? They have a timeout called, and Brad Childress sends in 12 men. Remember this? He gets a 12 men in the huddle penalty, which moves them back 5 yards and forces them, instead of to call a run play, just to set up the field goal. Favre has to throw it to try to get them back.
But it doesn't mean he has to throw an interception.
He did. But do you know how many games he won with late throws? I just gave it to you.
What about
second in game-winning drives over a 19-year period?
Aaron Rodgers
great.
is never behind, so he doesn't have to do
never behind.
But Skip, but you didn't mention the Rams game where he threw 5 picks and they lost by like 100 points.
Okay, he did. He would try things a lot of people shouldn't try.
Okay.
But you know what? Brett Favre could get away with it. If you want to talk about eye test, this may even be before your time, but those first 5 years of Brett Favre, nobody could throw a football any better than Brett Favre could throw it, because nobody in the league had a stronger arm. You can give me Elway, you can give me Marino. Nobody could throw it the way Brett Favre threw it. And by the way, if you want to talk about athletic ability, I'll put young Favre's athletic ability against Aaron Rodgers any Sunday. Any Sunday.
Rob, did he just say it might be before my time? Does he know I'm a year older than Brett? If Brett came into the league,
You don't remember that?
You act like you don't remember the young Favre. You talk about him like he's a dog.
No,
Huh?
no,
You do.
no. He played with my. I put it like this here. My brother is a better receiver than anybody Aaron Rodgers has ever thrown to.
Unfortunately, your brother didn't last all that long.
No.
That was a tragedy.
He was the first receiver with back-to-back 100. He was the first receiver to have 300 catches over a 3-year span.
Yep.
I covered the game, Brett, through the touchdown in Detroit. But the game winner in Detroit, I was there. I saw that.
But he's not
winning drive.
But it was against the Lions.
They're everywhere.
It shouldn't count.
Anytime it's against the Lions, it doesn't count.
Skip. It's okay. Brett was a great player, but he's not greater than 12.
Yeah, you're just doing the eye test. He can really
That's what you
throw
told me you do.
it. Really throw it.
But you
that's
told
not
me-
the point. Who's the better? Who do I want with the game on the line? This
Give
is
me
just
Aaron
me.
Rodgers.
I'll take Brett.
Did you
Favre
watch
every
what he
time.
did to your Cowboys
Yeah,
with the game
I watched
on the
what
line?
Mason Crossbar did to
No,
him.
who put him in? Who got him in range?
No, but when Tom Brady puts Adam
know who got him in
Vinatieri
range?
he's okay with
No,
it.
you
But
know
now
who
that
got
Aaron
him in
Rodgers
range?
did it, now you got an issue, Skip. Come clean. You can't have it both ways.
Rod Marinelli put him
No,
in.
no,
He did. He called a prevent defense on 3rd and 22. Just play defense. Don't let Jared Cook just run uncontested the boundary. It's pitch and catch.
Skip. They brought
It's pitch
Skip.
and catch. He's not covered.
Skip. No, Skip. If you remember, Skip, they brought a blitz, but it just so happened that the Packers had a dash on that he drops back, he whirls and
They
goes
didn't
to his
blitz.
left.
They didn't
Skip,
blitz.
they brought the
Not
guy
on the last
blitz.
play. You're thinking the play before when he should have fumbled.
Skip.
I give him that. He should have
I
fumbled.
tell you, I bet you do. I bet you do that they brought a blitz off the right side.
On the
Last
last play?
week, yes.
I just remember Jeff Heath blitzing.
I don't care what you remember.
I looked at the tape that they had like 8 guys back at the 20-yard line.
Skip, would I lie to you, Skip?
Yes.
Did they
At
rush
least
more
we can
than 4?
all agree
They
that
brought- no,
Tom
they
Brady
dropped
ranked number
one, but
one
they
is
dropped
right,
one.
right?
They
Okay, so
brought-
it's still a
agree with
4-man
that.
rush.
Right.
Whatever.
We don't agree with the Tom Brady being number one either, do we? Joy thinks so.
What? I mean, that's a duh. That's the biggest duh on this show.
No.
Rob, thanks for
please.
joining
It's not
us.
automatic.
No.
Is LeBron coming to LA? Chris Broussard answers that question.